In this video, we are going to see how the match function works in Excel and in what kind of situations and in combination of which formulas it's very effective. So we have an example of VLOOKUP here where we just mention the product name and it automatically extract the ID details, the make and the unit price. So what we have done is simply we applied the VLOOKUP formula. Let me just make it simple. We just wrote here equals to VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this, table array is product table, here it is, and column index number is 2 because we are extracting the data from the second column because it's not any kind of range where we have to find the number. So it's an exact match. When we hit enter, VLOOKUP is done. When we change any kind of product, it automatically shows us the result of the product ID. But let's say that we want to apply the same formula on all the other cells. If we drag it towards right, it will show us the same results. And why is that? Because the column index number is changed. So for make, we need to shift and move to column number 3. So here's column number 3. And then we make column number 4. But this takes a lot of time, especially if you don't only have 1 or 4 fields, we have many. So in that case, what we will do is, let me just move this down, the search box. I'll just copy this and paste it right here. In fact, let's cut this and paste it right here. Okay. So what you can do to make it more efficient, let's say we are making changes like we did earlier. We added if error formula, we added other formula with that, and every time we have to drag it to apply it to all. So instead of making the changes every single time in the column index number, what we will do is we will just write the column index number according to the original data. Just remember that if the product ID in the original data is on third number, then no matter if in your search engine it's on the second number, we will still use the number that appears in the original table. So in this situation, it's same 3. This one is 3 and this one is 4. The same exact sequence. Now what's the benefit of this? We have just written the numbers, but it's very effective. We just open the first VLOOKUP and instead of mentioning the column index number manually, we just refer it to above. We just ask it to take it from the cell above. What is the difference? What difference does it make? It makes a lot of difference that when we scroll or drag it towards right, the Excel functionality is by default set to shifting the cells or moving the cells as well, moving the references. So this is relative reference which moves whenever we scroll the results. So now if we want to add anything in the existing formula, if error, then let's say nil, hit enter, make the correction, and we don't have to make the manual changes in every single cell for the column index number. We just drag it towards right and we can see that it automatically takes the column index number from above. So this is one way of doing this. But let's say that the original data is in some other sequence and let's say this one is in some other sequence. Let's make the changes. Let's say that we first have the unit price and then is the product ID, then a unit price and make and everything else. This is our order of search engine. We always want the details like that because there are, let's say, a lot of columns and we only want certain details to be mentioned here. We don't want every detail. Let's say a customer comes and it asks for a particular product. We don't need to tell them all the results. We just need essential details. So here are the details, but it's in some different sequence. So instead of manually locating every single field number, we can use the match formula, and match formula does a great job in that. It just identifies on which position any particular text is. It looks like the VLOOKUP, but it's a little bit different. Equals to match. We'll extract the same number using the match function. Let me just remove all of these formulas so that we can see how effective it is. Match. Lookup value is this heading. That means I want to find this heading position, comma. Lookup array. Where do you want to find it? I want to find it in all of these headings. In fact, I can just fix this heading's name Just select all the headings first and just name it as headings. Make sure it is saved properly by ensuring that it appears in the dropdown of the name box. So let's write again equals to match. I want to look up for this heading name and I want to find in what number does it show up, in what position does it show up. So lookup array will be headings. I want to check this heading in all the headings of the data and I want to match it exactly. That's the only thing we need to do. Hit enter and it will show us that the product name appears in the first position of the original data. And now if we just scroll towards right, automatically it will mention it in the right sequence, in the right positions. Unit price, it is able to find that this lookup value appears at the 4th position in all the headings. We have many useful functions as well to be attached with match function, but here we are using it for VLOOKUP. As you can see the effectiveness, and you can imagine that even if we have hundreds and thousands of columns, or we have some results in the other sheet, in the other Excel sheet, still it is able to find it exactly using different criteria. So that's how we can do it. And now here it's already referred to the VLOOKUP. Just we need to assign it to what is above that. So what is above the relevant field, we'll only select that as a column index number. And when we scroll towards right, it shows us the right details. Let's see for roof box. Let's test this. Roof box product ID is 208 and the price is 450. So price is showing first, then Pack Pro, and the product ID shows at the end because we need this information the least. So that's how you can do it. After that, we have a choice that for this text, if you don't want to see this, either we can make this text as white, or otherwise we can just totally hide this. But since this row contains the data as well, we can paste it somewhere else, or we can just use the hide function for this. So this is how it's done. Just try this by yourself and I'll see you in the next one.